Nobody told me there was no music playing. I was using this for another setting yesterday, and I didn't have that turned on. So you didn't have any music the whole time. Let's try that again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friends.
See, now you can hear. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 20th, 2023. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? Good morning, good morning. I see a couple folks wandering in here. Ferry is here. George, Phillip is here. The Sim Racers. Nope, couldn't hear it. Wolfgang is here. Hello, hello. I recognize some of these faces. So good to see you. I'm over here on YouTube instead of on Twitch, just trying something different. Trying this out. Trying to get things moving and have some more folks join us, discover what we're doing over here. Nice cup of coffee. My daughter made this mug. So, one of a kind. She's a teaching assistant at Penn State, teaching other kids, other students, how to make ceramics. It's a little bit of sculpting and ceramics. Very cool stuff. The proud father. She's a freshman at Penn State, and fantastic to see her doing well. The Sim Racers. Why are assembly programmers always soaking wet? Because they work below sea level. See what you've done there. I see what you've done there. There you go. Hello. Good afternoon to you, Jimmy Engstrom. Good to see you. Babak. How's it going? Good evening, George in Belgium. Hello, hello. Let me bring the chat up. See, the chat room's right over there. Chat room didn't go anywhere. It's still right here. When we're on Twitch, when we're on YouTube, it's right there. Check it out. So, a couple things that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to get into, wanted to try and do a little bit different over here on YouTube. I've been working with migrating data back to SQL Server from a NoSQL database. So NoSQL databases, that doesn't stand for not SQL, but it stands for not only SQL databases, relational databases. And when we think about those, we typically think of systems like MongoDB, right? Redis. These databases that are configured, right, that have that store JSON documents or are key value pairs that are aggressively cached in memory that you can interact with. And I was working with RavenDB for the last year and a half, and we loaded a ton of data into RavenDB to manage information about Twitch clips. Takes up a lot of space. Takes up a lot of indexing, a lot of great ways that we want to be able to search and interact with that data. And not all Twitch clips are created equal. All these are various documents that we need to be able to interact with. I wasn't actually storing the video, but more reference data about them. So what I ran into was the frequency at which we're creating that reference data in the database is just too much for the I/O capabilities of RavenDB in the cloud at the level that I was comfortable paying for. I need to figure out a way to optimize that. So we're moving things over to Microsoft SQL Server in Azure, going to be able to use a smaller database and, quite frankly, get more I/O performance out of it because that's how it's configured. That's how it's available on Microsoft Azure. Let me take a look. Let me catch up on a couple comments here. I don't seem to be streaming to Twitch today. That's correct. I'm not. I'm only on YouTube. You'd pay money for a mug. You keep a collection of handmade mugs in your house, says Jeremiah. Almost as bad as my hat problem. I do have a significant number of mugs now because folks have sent me mugs. My daughters they're enjoying their time in ceramics class, and yes, here we go. You're incognito with your IRL name. That's okay. Had to update your display name with your Twitch name. That's okay. That's cool. Thank you so much. So this is where I want to go today. I want to show how I'm migrating some of that data into SQL Server. RavenDB doesn't have a native export that it comes out in CSV or in an SQL format that we can load directly into a relational database like Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres. So I've been writing scripts using .NET and Entity Framework and the RavenDB native client to extract data and copy it in a new format, in an appropriate relational format, to be stored in SQL Server. The benefit that I've been seeing from spending the last year and a half working with RavenDB is that my mind is no longer thinking of just third normal form when we store data in a relational database. No. I've been considering and taking up looking at more NoSQL types of solutions, more key value pairs, more let's store a blob of data that is a CSV of primary keys into another table. Or let's store a JSON document. Before in SQL Server, you might have stored an XML document, but we can store a JSON document that contains references to other tables, as well as some other metadata that we might use in those other locations. It's worked out nicely. We're seeing significant performance benefits from doing that. We're going to continue doing a little bit of that today. And I want to also take a look at some of the configuration of SQL Server on Azure and what we can do to ensure we have the best performance available for us. So, there isn't a display name per se on YouTube. It looks like Jeremiah just put his Twitch handle there in parentheses. Let me get some music playing here in the background. I'm going to go with Streambeats Synthwave today. Now let's skip somewhere further down here. Let's go here. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like, whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, doesn't matter. You're free to use it anywhere you'd like. Big thanks to the team at streambeats.com and Harris Heller for making this music available for us to listen to today. Jimmy says I would have guessed that SQL on Azure would be way more expensive than RavenDB, especially under heavy load and large sets of data. Let me show you, because what we're finding is that querying and loading some of that data is quite, it's quite fast, even at the smallest standard database size. Let me head over and show you over here on, there we go. So there's the big Microsoft Azure console there. Give me 1 second. And you can see how we have things laid out. We have nothing going on the database right now because it's not wired up to the live website yet. There you go. You can see I'm using 6.7 gigabytes. That's okay. I'm okay with that. And I'm only using a standard S0 with 10 DTUs. That's the pricing tier that I'm using. I'll click through so that you can see that 10 DTUs, that gives me up to 250 gigabytes of storage, and it's $14 American a month. That's 10 DTUs a second that it's able to grant me and work with. Now, oh shoot, come on, go back to that overview panel. There's a bunch of recommendations down here that we're going to take a look at, but just to kind of show that it is working, it is behaving and running properly. This is a little bit too slow of a query, but over here, I have a follows table now that instead of doing a many-to-many type of collection that we would have done in a relational database. Hey, Chris Jones, good to see you. I put a CSV of the IDs of the channels that I follow in here, and I have a JSON document over here that contains here's a channel and here's how long it's muted for, and it's just off screen there behind me. That's okay. But you can see it's an array of objects. So what I can do is, using the OpenJSON function here in SQL Server, I can extract and blow that out and join those 14 rows into my channels table where I've got more than 6 million records, and you can see the channels that I've muted. And it loaded all that data in 30 milliseconds. This is all about how we index and get this running. Just selecting a count from channels. You see this is taking a long time because it's got 6 million records in that table. It took 5 seconds to return a count. Yeah, it's a big table. And we're working with that much data and able to query and run through it because we've got things indexed well and denormalized. And I'm happy about that. I like that. So, where are we going to next here? We've started migrating more data, different types. Let me get my gunners on here. There we go. So I've also got, not only do I have channels, I have all the categories that are available copied over. I have playlists copied over, people's privacy settings, the first 1.3 million Twitch clips. I've got 1 million records over here in that table. And collection of the videos, references from the clips that will end up dropping here at some point. Dropping a significant number of those. So, let me show you the playlist table real quick. And we'll take a look at some of the other things. So I'm going to select Start from Playlist, where I believe is it channel ID? And my ID number is 969099659. That's a number that's assigned by Twitch. We're indexed on that field, and you can see here's a list of my playlists. The clip IDs I put out here is a CSV. Why? Because when I do a select in SQL Server, it's only going to lock that one record for the duration of the time that it fetches it and returns it. Instead of if it was a many-to-many table where it's going to lock dozens of rows. That's a problem, right? We don't want to lock. Locking in SQL Server when you don't need to creates contention, creates slowness unnecessarily. So doing this kind of thing, I believe, is going to make, and you can, it only selected 8 rows out of it, but it returned in 24 milliseconds. Okay, that's, I like seeing that. I can then certainly select out that clip ID collection, join it into my list of clips that are available out there. And do I do that in, I do. Yep. So in this sample, I did that collection, and for this one here, viewer successes playlist, dropped it into a simple query here that's going to do a string split and join into my Twitch clips channel table. There's only one of those clips loaded yet. It's still test data. I'm still working on getting this loaded, but it completed the whole thing in 36 seconds. I can easily justify that. Easily. For $15 a month? Yes. So we're moving in the right direction. This feels really good. There's other data that we're going to end up denormalizing and placing into a Redis cache, because that's going to load even faster. And doing the types of live queries across the entire, what we have now as 17 million records in the KlipTok database. So there's our dashboard running on Raven, and you can see things are quiet as stuff's running in the background. But here's the part that I've been getting just destroyed on. You see how node A is at 36.5 meg per second throughput. I've used up my allocation. I've used up all of my I/O. it's not going to give me any more. Consequently, when we look at node A over here and we look at the list of indexes, they're going to be running for a while here. And it's just because I've exhausted I/O. And I'm paying for the fastest, and see that B is done indexing, and if I look at C here, C's just fine also. But this impacts your interaction with the website, because it's not going to be able to query and load data as quickly from node A as it is from B and C, which are done indexing their processes. When I'm on SQL Server, those couple queries that I ran here, I barely touched 35% of processing. How much I/O will I have access to in Azure? As much as I need. And right now I'm at 10 DTU. We've pushed this up to 150, which is roughly the same amount that I'm paying for RavenDb at this point. And it loads things just fine. I'm going to be able to use 10 to 20 DTU for most of what I'm initially doing inside the application. The pricing is so competitive. It is so worth it for me to lean into this a little bit more. But I want to take a look at these features down here that I haven't explored yet. There's some security recommendations here. Transparent data encryption. I don't really need it, but it came pre-configured. Defender for SQL, vulnerability assessment, advanced threat protection. I'm not storing any personal data in here, so I'm not concerned about turning that on. Dynamic data masking limits sensitive data exposure. I don't have sensitive data, so I'm not worried about that. Over here on performance, automatic tuning. Let's take a look at that. SQL database built-in intelligence automatically tunes your databases to optimize performance. Click here to learn. Yes, tell me more. Tell me more. So these are the kinds of things that I was looking to RavenDB to do for me. Automated performance tuning, automated verification of performance gains, automated rollback and self-correction. Tuning history, tuning action transact SQL scripts for manual deployments, scale out capability on hundreds of thousands of databases. That could be interesting. Consider, we're going to be coming up on a point here where I'm going to start writing and updating my write actions into the database. And I'm going to have a very aggressive read set of queries that load up content from the database. It might make sense to scale out and have two instances, a write primary and a read-only secondary that we're interacting and going between, with a Redis cache that also is storing some data that we're going to reference and load and interact with. So all interesting possibilities. Very interesting possibilities that we can take a look at. I'm going to throw a tweet out here real quick. Let me see. Let's see. Let's put that and copy that, because I'm also going to post it on Mastodon. I feel like Mastodon has started slowing significantly. So, hey there, video. Is it Critico? You love the C# videos. Thank you so much. Glad you enjoy that. Safe, reliable, and proven. Okay. Very much proven, right? The database system's been available out there for almost 30 years. Yeah, intelligent automatic tuning. It is such marketing speak, isn't it? You can enable automatic tuning or by using the alter database DSQL command. I'm a portal person. I'm a developer. I like just clicking links to turn things on. But what do these three things mean? What is force plan? Force last good plan. Identifies SQL and queries using an execution plan that is slower than the previous good plan and forces queries to use the last known good plan instead of the regress. Okay. Identifies indexes that may improve performance, creates indexes, and automatically verifies that performance has improved. Nice. When recommending a new index, the system considers space available. If index addition is estimated to increase space utilization to over 90%, index recommendation is not generated. Once the system identifies a period of low utilization and starts to create an index, it will not pause or cancel this operation, even if resource utilization unexpectedly increases. If the index creation fails, it'll be retried during a future period. Drops unused and duplicate indexes. Nice. Okay. Unique indexes, including indexes supporting primary key and unique constraints, are never dropped. Yeah, let's turn these on. Yeah. While I'm in this test mode, while I'm learning and discovering how much can I push SQL Server, what can it do? Why not? Yeah, how you doing there, Bauxite? I'm over here on YouTube. Nothing's wrong with Twitch today. Just trying out and seeing how YouTube is. A number of streamers, Twitch streamers, were saying, you know what? It's not bad over on YouTube. There's something to be said over here that works out nicely. So let's give it a shot. Let's pay a visit to YouTube and see how things go. Can certainly bebop and take a look in here and what we can do. I'm quite fine with that. So, yeah, there we go. That's interesting. Let's do that and that. You're not going to let me hide that panel, huh? YouTube's UI over here leaves a bit to be desired, let me tell you. Yeah. It does leave a bit to be desired. Let me see here. You just want featured chat for YouTube, then you'd move 100%. Featured chat's not that complex an application. It's not. Our friend Lucky Number 11 wrote that for the folks on Twitch, and that's not been a problem for them. And they'll defend and keep it over there. So, let me see here. There's a couple settings that I feel like I didn't quite configure properly here. Let's take a peek around the YouTube settings. So I'm going to try turning on. Yeah. I was told that there we go. Now we can see a little bit of what's going on here. Something to be said for company firewall blocking Twitch, but not YouTube. I've heard that as well. That's one of the big things, Jeremiah. Featured chat is working pretty badly for you. Oh no. What are you seeing? Because it's been terrific for us, for me. So I thought I applied this. No, I didn't want to inherit. I thought I turned it on. Fine, we'll turn off drop index. That's fine. Apply that. Yes. Okay. So then the question is, how do I know what it's doing? How do I know what it's recommending? Optimizing. Okay. And then the other option here is protect your database from disaster by creating secondaries in other regions. I'm not ready to do that just yet. Hey, Naz, good to see you. The day your firewall blocks Twitch is the day Elon buys Amazon. It's your firewall. Messages are missing from the chat. Huh. There is a filter that happens inside featured chat that you can turn on and off where it'll eliminate some of the messages. It will purposely skip messages that are one word or one character. Folks that post just an emote, it'll skip those. You can turn that on and off. There's other settings in there. That's on Twitch chat that that Jimmy's referring to. So let's see how this affects and improves database interactions here. I don't see any notifications, so I'm gonna leave that running for now. So I've migrated a number of my collections over here to now SQL Server tables. Let me open my source code here. Get that warmed up. But I still have a couple of tables that we need to look at and we need to get migrated in here. I'll jump over to this collection. You can see it's updating my database. 10:10 is Eastern time. That's my time. Looks good. Some people do stream on both platforms at the same time. That is against your partner and affiliate contract on Twitch. If you do that, you are in violation and Twitch can take action against you. I haven't seen them take action, but you are in violation. On Monday, I'll be streaming to both platforms on the Visual Studio channel. So, if I take a look at the list of documents that I have over here. So, categories we've moved over, channels we've moved over. I'm going to skip comments, mostly because they're not really used. Follower records we took care of. The IAB categories, we're going to end up doing some reinventing with that. Let's move the likes over. The list of the channels, the list of the clips that you like. That's right, I'm not streaming on Twitch right now. It is against your contract on Twitch. Twitch, blog, partners, stream on YouTube. Sure, I'll go through to the Verge post, and they have a link to the blog post here. And so partners and affiliates are allowed to create live content on other platforms. If you're able to view your partner agreement, blah, blah, blah. Affiliates are the same as partners. Can I stream simultaneously on others known as simulcasting? We do not allow simulcasting on other web-based Twitch-like services such as YouTube and Facebook. You may simulcast onto TikTok and Instagram Live, though. So, there you go. So Twitch has not removed anyone for violating that. They have not. But they've clearly stated they don't want you doing it. No, they said they will not enforce. There is a top 100 list of partners that do have an exclusive contract that are being paid by Twitch to only stream on Twitch. For most of the rest of us, you should not be. Yeah. Linus from Linus Tech Tips got a clause in the agreement. You have to negotiate that. So, no, not scummy at all. Not scummy. You have to request it. And for most of us, we don't have the viewership and the pull, like a Linus Tech Tips or a Dr. Lupo, to negotiate and get that. So Ninja went so far as to completely drop his partnership so that he could multi-stream to everything. That was weird. A little weird. So, yeah, they're not enforcing it on TikTok and Instagram Live. YouTube and Facebook, they are going to. They haven't enforced, but they can. They still have the option to do that. Okay. Let's start migrating the likes records. So inside the database over here, if we take a look at the how I store like records over here, this is a NoSQL database. So what I do is for each user, I create a record that's broken down by the year. And here are the clips and when they were liked for that year. That's pretty easy to see. And it's going to also be easy for me to take this and say, we'll turn this into a JSON document for each user ID for each year. Let's just put this out there as a composite primary key on 2 fields, user ID and year. And we'll store a JSON document. Here's the list of the channels that you like. It's just a list that we'll store in a field. We'll be able to do that same open JSON statement to turn this back into a relational collection and join into our clips table to return that data. So it specifically locks you into one platform, stymieing your growth artificially based on one platform. Disagree, because what they're the one thing that they're not in, that they have said they will not enforce, is that you can start a stream on another platform and stay on that platform. So as a Twitch partner, if I start a stream on YouTube, I'm allowed to be on YouTube, where before I was not allowed to be on YouTube at all, or Mixer. It's not. They're negotiating. They're paying you extra, as they're actually paying you as an affiliate, as a partner to create content for their platform. They're going to say, hey, we'd like that content to stay exclusive to our platform for 24 hours. Nothing wrong with asking for that, but there's also nothing wrong with us as content creators saying, hey, I'd like to be able to, for my growth, simulcast on these other platforms. And for most folks, they've said no. And that's okay. If you want, you can simulcast on all the platforms and not get paid. So, having found that, yes, the tweet about the earnings, you got it. Yes, that is exactly the kind of thing that streamers have been seeing on Twitch and saying, maybe there's something that we can do there. So, it didn't give me an option to create tags here for this stream. But I did create a bunch of content in the description about what we're doing. All right. So let's start moving some data here. Let's redesign what this is going to look like. And I store the data using Entity Framework over here with .NET. So let's create a like record. So this is going to be a public class, and I'm just going to call this let's call this a like record. And I'm going to put a property on here, string user ID, and user ID and channel ID on Twitch are the same. It's a roughly 5 to 10 character. It looks numeric, but 5 to 10 character unique ID. No, not quite. This is going to be a 4-digit year. So I could either put this as a short so that it's numeric. Yeah, let's make it a short. Both of these are going to be required. And then we're going to create a list of liked videos. This way I can just add a new record to it, and we'll define what liked videos are in a second here. I'm going to make this a required object and a required property. What? Liked video, and we'll call this liked videos. Every now and again, you just look at stuff and, what? What? No, let's get rid of that. Let's move this first. Yep, into my like record over here, and I'm going to create this. Put it right there. And we know our liked video has 2 fields. Oh, that's really good. So this is GitHub Copilot suggesting to me fields. And they're really, really close. I'm going to change this to clip slug. I don't want to call it ID. It's that slug value that is a unique string that is a primary key that uniquely identifies a clip. And I'm going to put it in this field. It is required. Why don't you like that? Yeah, I know. It will be. It will be. Why don't you like that? I thought I could ignore it by putting the whatever. That's fine. Okay, so I have this laid out. What do we have here? It makes the most sense to stream on Twitch as long as Amazon is giving out that Twitch Prime. Yes. If that vanishes, Twitch is over. Yeah. That's right. No Y2K end of the world hysteria for KlipTok. Everything's going to be 4-digit year. I mean, heck, I could even do 2-digit year, right? I mean, I could just store a byte for the 2-digit year. Like, why not? Why not? I mean, right? It's a 16-bit. If I take it to a byte, right, it's 8-bit. Goes up to 256. I mean, right? Nobody's... The earliest that anybody has... And that's the current year, right? So it's going to be... And you can see the values over here in the table. Right, the earliest values are 20. So 20, 21, 22, 23. Those are the values that we're going to have in there. Make it a byte. Make it a byte. No, I don't plan for it to survive the next 30,000 years. Dear Lord, if it survives 50 years, it's outlived me. No. All right, so I have my like record, I have my like video. Those kind of work. And I need to start creating a repository object that's going to manage these, right? So let's call this my like repository. And this is going to inherit from my base SQL Server repository of type like records. And I'm also going to have it implement the I like repository pattern, repository interface. Before I go any further, move that to its own file. I would like if it kept that open for us. You actually have more gifted subs and non-prime subs than you have prime subs. It grows. It changes. Wait and see. All right, so let's start generating. Yep, base constructor. I'm also going to make this internal. The like record object and liked video, I'm going to make these both internal as well. Because I don't want, right, I want to fight that abstraction leaking out into the rest of the application. I don't want the rest of the application to be tied to that implementation. So there we go. There's my interface for all that data. This one's going to be interesting. Was a clip liked by a user? We're going to see some interesting query structure to run that. How much it changes based on channel size. Totally. Totally. So, and get all the likes for a specific clip. That's going to be an interesting query. Because I'm going to have to reach through all of these records. Now, right now, today, there's only 273 records. Going through that list and being able to filter, because a clip was created in 2023, I don't need to look at the 2020 through 2022 records. I only need to look at 2023 and forward. I'm going to be able to narrow that down, but I still need to search through them and see if that record is in those collections. There's going to be interesting queries to write to fetch that data. I don't think it's going to be hard to write, but doing that indexing is going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. And I might end up refactoring this table a little bit. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. I really don't want to have to write another table that goes the other way and has, here's a list of the users that liked this clip. I could. Wouldn't be hard to build. Would be very CQRS to have that data in 2 locations. Not sure. Not sure. We'll cross that problem when we get to it. I do need to be able to add a range of clips. And when you look at what a like is at this point, currently a like is for a clip slug. There's a reference to a clip, the user ID, the timestamp that when it was created. These are being rolled up and inside RavenDB. Let's look at, oh no. No. I've done it, I've broken Visual Studio. Channel having too many gifted subs is an unhealthy sign for a channel. Agreed. And we've absolutely seen that. Too many gifted subs is not sustainable. Is not a sustainable revenue model. So let's try this again. Like repository. This one. So here's the RavenDB one. And RavenDB has these like clip records that are, it's a list of, here's the ID and when it was. So, and it does this management to make sure that it gets that list of records associated with a channel. I don't need to do that anymore. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't have a get all in here. No, we need to write a get all that will get all those records and bring them out. Hey, Pro Security, at what time am I going to stream on Twitch? I'm not today, but I will be back on Twitch. I should be back on Twitch tomorrow. My schedule, my Saturday schedule, I should be able to yeah, uphold and keep working with. All right. So I need some sort of a get all method here so that I can get all of these liked clip records. They are public, so I can return those. But I also need to return who the user ID is that liked it. So, hey there, Jefferson in Brazil. Good to see you. Welcome in. So, I'm going to write a quick method here for Raven that goes and gets all of those. Keep that with that stuff. So, this is going to be an async task that's going to return... Let's make it a dictionary. String and an IEnumerable of like records. Now, I'm not bringing the year out on this. I feel like I can get the year from the at itself. It's going to make it a little bit of work to add these back in on the other side. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. For this user ID, here's the list of records, clips they like. So let's do this. Using var session. So as get data out of Raven, session equals store open async session. And that's pretty close. I don't need the customize. I don't... So this is going to give me all of the... Well, hang on. Yeah. Right, so if we look at this, there's a parent, and that's the channel that the user. So I have the user, and I have the collection of liked clips. So that works. Now I need to put them in the format to return. You need to start streaming again, sitting behind your PC, working on personal projects, just not pressing the button. Yeah, go for it, dude. So how do I turn this into that dictionary with a collection of associated records? Finally seeing me live? Hey! Good to see you there. I'm sorry, I don't want to pronounce your screen name because I want to make sure things are inclusive. But thank you so much for the love from Jersey. Keeping the coffee flowing here. I'm only going to go for about another hour. I have a lunch meeting to get to and a couple other things this afternoon to take care of. How am I going to do this? I want to do like a for each NIT. I can do that. And I hope you appreciate it and why I don't want to pronounce your name. Let me see here. So let's do... gosh, I want to do a unique on this. So I get the unique list of channel IDs. Right? So can I say like records? And right, this is an exercise in set math at this point. Right, I want to do a... Well, there's a distinct by method now. So I'm going to be passed a like record, and I need to define the key selector. And it's going to return those like records. I think I want to select first. Right? The parent object, and even then I want to do a substring on those. I think it's a substring 9, so that I drop the channel CHA 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah, substring 9 will drop the channel slash in the front of that. And I don't need to do a distinct by, I can just say distinct at that point, and it'll give me that distinct collection of channel IDs. Do I do the substring at this point? It's in mem, yeah. Have I implemented IEquatable? No. but I don't think I need to. Let me move this substring out for right now. I think I may want to do that later, just so I'm not doing it multiple times. So I've got a collection of the channel IDs. I want to get... No, not channels. No. I want to get the like records for those. So I'm going to do a for each across them. There is a like keyword in SQL, yes. So I'm not going to be storing these right as a like in SQL. Where'd it go? I thought I had it open over here. This one, right? I'm going to store these as like records, so that it's not using. So if I do this, I want to do a for each on these so that I get entries into the dictionary. So let's create that out dictionary. String IEnumerable like record, right? And actually, wait. I want to return IEnumerables of liked clip records. I don't care about these things. I actually want the smaller object. Where did I go? These. So that I get just the relationships coming out. Okay. Can I do this as a complete set? Or do I have to do a for each? Part of me thinks I should do a for each. Let's do a for each. Channel in channel IDs. Let's say out dictionary, add channel. Now I'll do that substring. So I get it formatted as just the ID. And then the IEnumerable of those clip records is going to be like records. Parent equals that channel. So now I've got just those. And then I believe I want to do a select many on liked clips. Yeah. It should work. That should work. The only thing that I don't like is I want to drop the Twitch clip name from the ID that's coming back here. So that's returning the IEnumerable of liked clip records. I could do a select again on that just to format it. Right? I mean, I could. New liked clip record. I could say ID equals L.ID. And what is it for Twitch clip? Right? Twitch clip slash Twitch clips. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Substring 12. And now I've reformatted. Cool. Yeah, let's start with the for each, and if we need to, if we can refactor later, we'll refactor later. So that's going to return. We can get rid of this line here. That should, and it should run pretty fast. Next steps. Going back the other way, in the SQL record, we want an add range method here. And it's going to be string user ID, byte. No. No. How do I want to take these in? If I accept a collection of liked records, make that list a hash set, just loop through and add, and they'll be distinct at the end. That. Well, I wanted the distinct because I want to have this grouping by the user ID. I could make that user ID and a byte for the year. I do need to iterate twice because I need to flatten it. Yeah, I know that select iterates, and then I'm doing the for each on that iteration because there's a child collection in each record. If I turn this into a hash set, yeah, no. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I mean, I could just receive this as a collection of user ID, clip, and time that it was inserted when it was liked, and then flatten it out on the other side. Then it doesn't matter. Let's do that so it gets really flat. Change that to an IEnumerable. String, byte, turn that into a value tuple. String, byte, string, clip slug, and a date time offset at. I have that formatted wrong. I have my value tuple wrong, don't I? I get the format of that wrong all the time when I want to have named entries. It's not the semicolon type, and then not the colon there. There we go. So now I can just flatten it directly and I don't need to do a for each. Now I can turn this into an out list. Which looks weird, but trust me. I don't even need to do out dictionary add. We're gonna do out list. This is gonna change, but I don't want to lose that. Like records, select. So it's going to be L parent substring 9. The year is going to be L liked clips at first at year. Watch this. How you like that? Let's put these on separate lines so it's easier to read. And that's what it's going to be. I need to finish these other bits. So next was the clip slug. This feels like it should have been a select many. I need to do a select many up here first. And actually, I'll have access to the inside, to the L record also. So let's just bump everything down here. And actually here I can just say like that. There we go. Okay. Yes. I think that's it. What am I missing here? Select money is going to return a collection of I have this backwards, don't I? No, wait a sec. No, I did have it right. Select many, because that's going to return a collection of liked clip records. I need to do a select coming out of that. Now, why doesn't it like that? No, actually, we were okay there, right? We were okay. It just doesn't know the type of the result, so we can specify that. Wait a sec. I'm confusing myself here. Right, in this case, C is a liked clip record. Yeah, I need to specify the type there, which is that. And it doesn't like that. Why? An iList does not have... Oh, man, come on. What are we missing here? Right, to get this to flatten. Thinking. Or does it... Am I... Hang on. There it is. That... So if we take that and put it back in here to kind of force it, get rid of the field names. Yeah, no. No, the cast would be coming out. It's the select. It doesn't like the select menu on the like clips. Child collection. Hang on, let's test something. Like records is an array of like record types. And if we did select many from that, if we did that, foo is now a collection of liked clip records. So but can I still flatten this and say L dot parent and it doesn't like that. So do I have to do but now I'm in the like records at this point. Right, ID and at. I don't have access to the parent object. I think I'm going to need to do a for each to do this add range so that I can make sure that I have it flattened. That's not going to work. Could I use a group by? I'm already kind of in a group by type of structure. So I don't think so. So now if I just move this across. Yeah, L liked clips. So now this is liked record. There we go. Oh, what don't you like about that? String byte, string date time. That's a date time, not a date time offset. There we go. Got it. Got it. So I've got an extra. There we go. Cool. So that's going to give me a nice flat record coming out that is each one of these data points. And then I'm going to pivot it and get it going back in here. So let's take in here an IEnumerable of type string user ID byte year. And of sure values. And the generic like object that's being passed around is here's the slug and here's when it was. So I can do that. Select has two parameters. Yes, the other one is the position, if I remember correctly. Okay. So to add these records, I now need to turn them back into what I'm calling my SQL Server, like records, right? Which is a user ID, a year, and then the collection of liked videos. So let's turn them in. Turn them. Oh my. Oh my. Well, I didn't have to think about that. Thank you. Thank you very much, GitHub Copilot. Select many parent.children. There's overloads on that. The like record, the int, and the result object type. So the like record. I don't want the position. The collection selector. The func to go across those objects. All right, so I could do L liked clips. And here I have both the parent and the child record. Okay. So I could do that. Impressive. Yeah, that's what we wanted. There we go. Cool. Thank you. There we go. Awesome. So that looks like it should work properly. Let's put the like record object into the DB context. I'll jump right. When I press F12, you're supposed to take me there. Thank you. We're going to want to define some indexes here in just a second. But we're going to put it in here. I've been trying to keep my collection of database names, database sets, in alphabetical order. So this is, of course, a DB set of like records. Now I need to do some configuration, including something like this for that. And actually, I'm going to be working here to keep things, once again, in order. Entity, and this is for like record. Owns many. Liked videos. Oh, come on, Fritz. Okay. We also are going to want we want to define that composite primary key. Has key, yes. And I believe, right, I can say L dot user ID, L dot year. I don't think... Yeah, link to object support in the browser is very nice. I'm going to put an index on just the user ID while I'm here. I think that I can do that. Cool. Okay. I think that's all I need for those. I should be able to... There we go. Don't need the Stream Deck config right now. Let's make sure this builds. And then we'll generate some migrations and get this kicked off here. Good. .NET EF migrations, add like records. Looks good. Let's try and add it to the database. .NET EF database update. Okay. Let's take a look back over here in the Azure Data Studio. Come on. Show me some new tables. Show me some new tables. Why you do this? Do I need to reconnect? There it is. Columns, user ID. Let's revert that. Because I would have preferred a length on that. I think I've been setting it to 20. I need to go back one record in my migration history. Which is going to be add videos. I'll revert the migration, put it back in. So this will put that max size on the user ID record. Good. And now looking back in Data Studio, columns, there we go, nvarchar20, tiny int, the composite primary key, liked videos is an nvarchar max because we're going to jam it full of JSON. Next steps. Hey, how you doing there? Hello. So let's create another command to do the migration. We'll call this migrate likes. Likes repository. All right, and that's going to be new Raven likes repository. What did we call it? Like repository. There you go. Also need to add it into here. Did that rename? It didn't rename the file. No. Cool. Let's move this to its own file. All right. Now we need to get tricksy. So we have all of those as individual records. Now we need to do the group by and insert. You read a good article last night about nvar binary compress and decompress instead of nvarchar max for JSON. Okay. Could be interesting. So this is where I want to do a group by to do this insert, right? Because the add range we set up to take, well, yeah, user ID, year, and then the collection of like objects. So let's do a group by on these records. Oh, this is going to be fun. Right? The gyrations of working with Link to load data into SQL Server has been quite interesting. All right, so we're going to, yeah. So our key selector is going to be user ID, and year. And then we're going to have, we have our element selector. How do we select out? The elements that go with this. Oh, look at that. That's not a thing. We need an IEnumerable of like objects. No. Not quite. Key user ID. Key year. Okay. You'd love to move over to Blazor from Angular. Big problem is you lean heavily on the AG grid. What features are you leaning on in there? Because there are Blazor grids that do similar, including the Microsoft Blazor grid. And now I need that new, is it a list? It's an IEnumerable. So can I say group dot no, wait, hang on. The group is yeah, the group is an IEnumerable. Yeah, I haven't returned one yet. So this is going to be a new like. We've got too many of those. Do that. And put it on this line. So the clip slug is going to be that. Did I have that right? That's the end of that select. Do that for the end of that thing. That for the end of the group by. That for the end of the add range. Oh. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, look who's here. How you doing there, Dad? Is QuickGrid GA? I believe it's still preview. I believe it's still preview. So it's not supported. It is experimental. It did not go live, but all the source code is there. So even if you don't like it, you can use it. Yeah. Dad's here. How you doing, Dad? Let's give this a shot. So I'm going to go back over here. Let's comment out this method. New migrate. This time we're migrating likes. There's the configuration. Await command execute. And that should move it. I like to move it, move it. So that should take us so that it flattens into this format. User ID, year, and then a JSON of those liked records. All right.
Hold on to your butts.
Here we go. So let's .NET build, make sure this builds. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Bauxite, for the kind words. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. I'm feeling good. Okay. Let's see what our table looks like. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. That didn't work. Oh, no. What happened? Let's take a look. I think we're going to want to debug through this chalupa. See what's going on here. Somewhere we didn't get data coming back quite the way we expected. Let's put a breakpoint right here and let's see what our data looks like coming out. Yeah, right. You didn't expect this to work right the first time. All right, so let's look at some of the data that's coming out here. We'll take a look at the records collection. That looks right. That looks like a correct format. Okay. So let's take a look at inside the add range here. So the values, let's look at the values that are returned. Oh yeah, look at that. That if can we just look at this results view? Take a look at one of these. So there are 3 items in the end here. Yes, show me the results. It's a like with a clip slug, good, and a timestamp. Okay. So the records, it's attempting to add, here we go. Results view, there's like record. Oops. Like records, okay, user ID, the year, 3 entries in here, there they are. Clip slug and like to add. Okay. This tells me there's a problem with the entity framework configuration. So let's go back over. Right, so we're creating like records. That's a list of liked videos. That's going to be similar. Let's bring up how we do this with the followed channels. It's a list of those. Sure, let's do this as a new list. Okay. And if we take a look at the context for this here. So entity follows owns many muted channels. Owns many liked videos. Config to JSON. That should have saved properly. Let's try this again. And see what happened there. What do we got? No. So why is it dropping those? back over here. I'm not quite sure. What's the difference between list mute record and it has a string date time offset? A list of liked videos and it has a string date time offset. Oh man, we're so close. Drop that. Are we missing something in a migration here? So, Papa C# Fritz out there is a longtime database administrator. So when I was talking the other day about how I was structuring and building my tables here and denormalizing and putting just a chunk of text into some of those fields, that kind of lit up and got the old wheels stirring there, and we had a fantastic database structure conversation the other day. Let me see here. Let's extra like record stuff. Is there any? Like, did it create a migration for something? No. Nothing there. Goodbye. So why isn't it blowing that out? Why isn't it turning it into... That's a list. Am I doing something maybe in the add range? No. Because when I got down here, they were appropriate objects. Hey, congratulations, Bauxite. That's great. All the best to you. So why isn't this... Let's put a to list on this to start here. See if there's something that's getting dropped on the way in. Could be. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Alright, so that's calling the add range. And down here, the list of records that's coming in. 269 of them. Just going to pick the first one off. Liked videos, there's 3 entries. And each one of them, there it is. That's a deal. That's a thing. So that does that insert. Still nothing. So what am I dropping? What am I losing that this is not picking up here? I mean, it sure looks the same as the other one, right? Liked videos, that's my list of that type. Config to JSON. Oh, wait a sec. No. That was just cleaning up commented out code. So what are we doing wrong there? Get set is it because I have it marked as and it's even marked as required. If I drop the required requirement, does that get me any .NET EF database date? Right? I mean, I don't think there was anything added in. No. So let's load the data. Still no. Take it back. Something here isn't adding up. No. I am stumped. And there's nothing else that I've added here that forces and specifies that. The owns many creates that relationship. And it specifies it as nvarchar max. I took the required off of it, so now nullable is true. It is allowed to be null. Even though realistically it never will be. I've got my composite primary key. I've got my index so that I can select by user ID. No. 969096559. There's my records, even though there's nothing in them. So, all right, what happens with the follows? Add muted channels. nvarchar max. That's it. And the snapshot. There's category, channel, there's follows. To table follows string null. No, those are okay. And actually, look. The muted records isn't in that. Where are the muted records? Owns many, there we go. Property follows user ID, which, once again, I should chunk that down. Muted, yeah, here's the properties inside the child table. Here's the liked record. And there's the child table. 2 JSON muted channels. 2 JSON liked videos. That looks the same. Can I open another one of these? Let's put these side by side. No, that's... no. That's the snapshot. Yeah, it didn't open 2 of them. I'm just about out of time here that we can spend. Is it because of the composite primary key? That's the difference I see between these two. That's the only difference I see. Let's try public GUID ID. Yeah. And go back over to the context. Change this from has key to has index. And isn't there a way for me to make that unique? Right. How do we do unique in Entity Framework? Entity Framework Core unique index. That's not here. Yeah. Is unique equals true. In the Fluent API, it's just is unique. Okay. So let's wipe that. Yeah. Back over here. Take it back one. Remove the add like records migration, and then we're going to reintroduce it. And then we'll re-update And we'll try and do this again. Yep. Database update. Yeah. Okay. Try and run this. That looks like we got it. Well, we at least got the data loaded, right? And the data, nope. Nope. Not loading. Oh, wait a sec. It doesn't have the ID in there. Hang on. Yeah. Still didn't pick it up. That's annoying. It's like it didn't even try to add the list to them. If I look at my like record repository, and if I look at my follow repository, when we did add range in here, ooh, wait a sec. No, it's in a mute repository. It's actually set differently. Interesting. Interesting. Because that didn't update on the records. So, what if I did the add range first? The values are there when I hit add range. Right? If I run this here, when I get to that add range, the values are there, but they get dropped somewhere in the insert. So the values that were passed in, we can look at these, right? And there is a collection of like objects that have timestamp and clip slug. That's all I'm looking for on these. Yeah, this add range has these save changes sitting underneath of it. At this point where it's trying to create the records, right, there's the GUID that's assigned. There's 42 records in the liked videos list. And there they are. But in the way that I saved them earlier, I did it as an update. At this point, I don't care about time, about the performance of it. I need to get the data loaded. So I'm going to do a for each on these things. Just to get them loaded. Value in values. Right, like, I'm kind of stuck here. Record equals new, like, yeah, year equals Ah, shoot. No, this should be value. Why don't you see that? There we go. Year. And then do context add. That record. This is going to be so ugly. Record, liked videos. Value, likes, select. I'm not even doing an attach. I still have the same object. Let's see what happens as it hits that and see if we start getting records added. And then I need to drop. All right. Wait a minute. Did you see what I saw? It was still in an IEnumerable there. Which means as it goes out, it wasn't evaluating. Nope, that wasn't it. Never mind. Don't mind me. Let's go back to the new way that I was doing this. With the ugly for each. Okay. Try this again. There's definitely issues, and there are known issues reported on the JSON interactions with SQL Server for Entity Framework. I think we may have stumbled on another big one here. This is going to take a lot longer because each one of those save records is ugly. But there they are. Hasn't gotten to my records yet. I see how this works. There's one of mine from... There we go. But we're getting the data. I definitely think we're going to end up creating another table that's denormalized the other way. And for each clip, here's the collection. For clips that have likes, here's the collection of records that of user IDs that like them, so that we can do that presentation. And keeping those two in sync is going to be something that we're going to end up using Service Bus to do. So that should work now. Yeah. So if I do not the CSV, where's the other one? This one. So for my like records, you go away for right now. And let's say I'm going to change this. Join Twitch clips. Like records. Oops. Thank you. Open JSON on L liked videos. It's going to be clip slug. I don't even care about that. But I think I do need to do that. It's liked at. Sure, leave it as C. C clip slug equals Twitch clips clip slug. L user ID equals that, and L year equals 22. There we go. That didn't work. Because those records aren't in there. I haven't loaded them yet, that's why. There they are. Look at that. 31 milliseconds to get the list of channels, the list of clips that you like. That's what I'm talking about. Holy smokes. The second uglier version is more self-explanatory than the mushed together mess. It is. It sure is. But I should be able to do an add with a list and blow it out into JSON format. Having to add that object and do the update, that feels wrong. But that's pretty darn cool. That's pretty darn cool. I'm just going to pick somebody, another one here to work with. Look at that. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I'm really happy with how that works. That is going to go a long way for the likes panel and being able to interact with that. Putting together the view in reverse from clip going through to who likes my clip. That's going to take a bit of work because searching through those JSON records is not a query that I want to build. I mean, I could probably set up a view over it, but I really don't want to do that. Or a stored procedure that goes through and looks for it, but still don't want to touch that. Let's commit the changes that we got here. Let's wrap this up. Call this a day. Let's move on. This has been good. This has been really good. We've taken our data and we've got it in this very denormalized form, where for each year that somebody likes clips, I have their user ID, the year, and a JSON collection of the clips they liked. Knowing that a clip's ID, along with the date that goes with it, is probably about 100 characters, and our maximum size is 2 gigabytes, I can easily store 1 million likes per year. Am I going to cross that? Am I going to get folks that have more than 1 million likes in a year? Probably at some point. Right now, that's not too big of an issue. Because the most I have for anyone is like 150, 200. I might want to break that down into smaller chunks at some point. I might make the year a decimal, so I have 2023.1, 2023.2. Yes, I am streaming a Twitch add-on on YouTube. Oh, the irony. Let's go up here and let's commit our changes. And push that out, so it's now available out in the GitHub repository. I'm definitely in a place here where when that number of likes grows per user, yeah, we're going to want to break it down. I don't think we want to have 1 million likes in one record. That's going to be a mess to join against and to work with. So we might break it down into year, month collections of here's the number of clips that folks liked. That's okay too. That's okay. We can break it down and organize and group that in smaller chunks with the goal of make it easier to search through and find the clips that you like in the future. And as long as they're small numbers of records, we'll be able to load that quickly. Yeah, see, the bot's not wired up to be able to do that. But I'm calling it a day. I'm actually headed out here. Heading out for a lunch meeting. Thank you so much for watching. We're on YouTube. I can't exactly raid anyone. So I'm calling it a day here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Either tomorrow or Sunday, but probably tomorrow. Over on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/C#Fritz. We had a couple viewers come through here. We didn't, not as many as we normally do, but it's an experiment. We may start doing these on Fridays just to see what happens, to see how many folks we get coming through. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.